Originally, this video was going to be different. I wanted to focus on comedy duos of old YouTube, which included Smosh, Bretts and Beretta, and the subject of this video, Nobody's Watching. In this genre, where it's just two guys making homemade sketches that age pretty poorly.
The spoiler! You know how much extra speed you can get with this thing? Your car won't be flipping, flopping, whatever, it won't do it.
You call that a spoiler? It's a binder and two cups taped together.
Look, the performance speaks for itself. Looks don't matter in this case.
It was 2005, give them a break. Now, while Smosh and Bretts and Beretta are still somewhat popular and recognizable, the third channel, Nobody's Watching, was popular at the time, but not as remembered.
Alright, everybody already knows what happens when you mix Mentos with Diet Coke. What about other stuff? Check it out. A candy corn and a 1-liter bottle of root beer. I guess nothing.
But while trying to research this topic, things got pretty strange. For one, the channel was deleted, which makes the YouTube series lost media. And two, it wasn't just two friends with a camera like I previously thought, but a YouTube channel created by a network after a failed pilot. Nobody's Watching was a group of two people, Campbell and Taran Killam. Yeah, the same guy from Saturday Night Live. This was before he was famous. They were playing two characters, Derek and Will. Nobody's Watching was a TV pilot made for the WB. The show was about two friends who wanted to make their own sitcom, and got hired by a film studio, making it a show within the show.
This is a message for all of you TV networks. Lately, your sitcoms suck. They suck! I mean, come on! According to Jim, awful. Good Morning Miami? Good night, funny. And yes, dear, excuse me. Rufus, I'm very upset with you. You yes-deared all over the carpet.
What happened to all the good shows? Where's the new Seinfeld? Cheers!
Mary Tyler Moore, All in the Family.
MASH, Frasier,
Roseanne.
Growing Pains! What happened to Growing Pains?
We sent that tape to every television network, and the next thing we know, the WB shows up where we work.
The pilot was written by a lot of big-name people, like Bill Lawrence, Neil Goldman, and Garrett Donovan. But despite having a lot of big names involved in the production, the episode is pretty poorly written. It's a pilot, so it's more of a pitch than a real episode. But there's a few funny scenes.
Where these stairs go?
Will, wait!
I want the audience to see how reality TV really works. I want them to see us pulling the strings. That's the WB's twist on the genre. I'm Jeff Tucker, and I drink Snapple.
You know what? The hell with you. The hell with this. I totally love you guys, though. You guys are awesome.
I know, you suck!
The show was making fun of Hollywood. It even tried to use unique ways of breaking the fourth wall.
Video. Film. Video. Film. Video. Video. Oh, I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you knew. See, we can talk privately in here. Are you sure? Well, it's a bathroom. There's no camera there. There's no camera there. There's no camera here. No camera.
The pilot did poorly for the network and did not get picked up. However, it was linked on YouTube. The channel was called Impytherap, someone who supposedly worked on the set. The pilot was split into 3 parts. At the time, YouTube videos had a limit of being 10 minutes long. And the video had tons of views, raking in at 600,000. It was a different time. But this gave the network some incentive of trying to revive the show again. Instead of satirizing Hollywood, YouTube was gaining popularity, so they shifted their focus on that. The channel would have these same characters doing amateur skits, with little to no budget, which is pretty odd if you think about it. I mean, the pilot had some pretty big name actors, but instead they're making some really cheap skits. The sketches were very similar to old Smosh and Bretts and Beretta. Similar humor, similar concept, similar budgeting, similar camera. Keep in mind, this was before these creators were making money off of corporations. And as funny as they were very amateur. The Smosh one specifically aged even more poorly. It was literally two teenagers playing with a camera. But at the same time, they were super popular, ranking at the number 2 most subscribed at the time. Which is why I find it pretty odd that the network would take inspiration from people like that. Nobody's Watch It was unsuccessful. True, it did have some viewers, but not enough to really make a show. Now, I did watch the channel back in the day, not knowing of its previous history. It just seemed like a fairly normal channel. Now, I was aware of the pilot. After all, it was one of their first few videos. It seemed like a failed endeavor made by the YouTubers, rather than actors pretending to be YouTubers. Taran Killam did guest star on Dan Schneider's Amanda Show.
Must find dough. Must find dough, please.
This toe?
Toe! How'd you find it?
How'd I not find it?
What does that mean?
I mean, it was such a random role. What was I supposed to do, recognize him? Unfortunately, a lot of the skits are lost. The channel has been deleted, and I could only find the pilot and like one skit. There were more Mentos and Coke parody videos. There was one where they did a parody of the OK Go music video, and there was one where they make another fake sitcom. So it's like a show within a show within another show, I don't know. And one of the more weirder ones includes the characters reacting to a show they saw wasn't funny. The audio was playing, but not the footage. Just them being bored and not even laughing. And it's like that for like a good half hour, I believe. Which is odd considering how controversial reaction commentary is. These were the first to do it, I guess. Both Paul Campbell and Taran Killam moved on to have their own careers, with the latter being very prominent. I don't know if the channel would somehow negatively affect their career. I really doubt it. I mean, it's not like their skits had anything offensive, or can be misconstrued as offensive, like blackface or something like that. Smosh eventually worked with Defy Media, which had a lot more writers working on the skits, and branching out to video games and other things. Ironically, Brett and Beretta is working with them too. Very odd crossover. And Nobody's Watching faded to obscurity, while everyone else working on that project did fairly successful. Overall, this is just one weird rabbit hole, but it was a good trip down memory lane. It was an odd story of how YouTube slowly dipped to the mainstream. Even though a lot of the old YouTube videos at the time were very amateur, they still had a lot of heart, more than some of the current videos now. Sketch comedy on YouTube is still around, and even more funny than the previous generation. And some of them managed to work for big channels like Comedy Central. Back then it was very uncommon for YouTubers to make it on TV. But despite that, it's very odd seeing the opposite happening. Whereas the network trying to be like the amateur creators. It feels like Nobody's Watching is ripping off Smosh. Anyways, maybe the rest of the videos are out there, who knows. So I hope you enjoyed. If you want, you can see some of my other videos. Please like and subscribe. I hope to see you soon.